back to this part of the world since a European Championships visit in 2018, the World Championships.
But as you can see from that picture, does it look slippy out on that circuit. Engines fire up, they make their way out onto the circuit. Let's quickly fire through this full starting lineup then for the first race of the day. It's OK Junior qualifying heat E versus G. Jack Iliff, who we just spoke to, starts this one on pole position, and he'll have fellow American Devin Waltz alongside. Devin Waltz having a DNF and a win yesterday over the course of the qualifying heats. Nicholas Schaeffler from Austria and Jarrett Clark from the United Kingdom start on row number 2. They'll be joined by Kenzo Craigie and Riley Cranham rounding out an all-British row number 3. Christian Costura of Spain and Nat Johnson go from row number 4. They'll have Zhang Jose and Jean-Mateo Rousseau from Panama on row number 5. Augustus Toniolo, the highest Brazilian in this race, starts alongside Daniel Kelleher from Ireland. Then it's Benjamin Magnac and Marco Gast on row 7. Mateus Witwer and Joel Pockeler go from row 8, from Mariano Lopez and Mateo Rivals on row number 9.
FIA Karting Academy Trophy graduate Cian Bernard starts on home soil on row number 10. He's joined by Canada's Edward Kennedy. William Kalesia and Levi Sangera start on row 11. Amir Sabarov and Roland Nagy go from row 12. Victor Rad, another one of the graduates from this year's FIA Karting Academy Trophy, starts on row 13. Alongside Fausto Arnado. Oscar Gallen and Cara Fearhand go from row 14. Sky Parker, great day yesterday for Sky Parker, recovering from a difficult qualifying, but has to go from row 15 in this one again, alongside Evan Purcell. Sun Yibei and Marcello Tortato start on row 16. It's a 34-strong field, completed by row 17, Oscar Poberai and Toby Gale. Do not worry, at home you are not missing any racing or any part of the 8-lap heat. An extra formation lap for all drivers. That is really down to the conditions here. As you mentioned, Anthony, it's dry, but at this time of the day, the grandstand, the race control building that we're stood in here at PF International, the front straight and particularly down into turn 1 is in shadow. It's quite cold. It's not as cold as it was yesterday morning. We came into the track and it was 3 degrees temperature on the way, and a little bit warmer today. It's currently 10 degrees Celsius, but everyone on used tyres, they're used race tyres from yesterday's timed qualifying and the couple of races that they did. So a sensible decision there for me from the race officials to say, give them an extra formation lap, get some heat into those Maxxis tyres, and let's have a good start.
Yeah, the good thing they've got is they've got a nice tailwind down the main straight for this one, so it should benefit the drivers at the back to help push them forward in this one as we get ready to go racing for the first time today. They've had quite a few races over the course of yesterday, but don't fret, because the main action will be all the way throughout the day as well for the OKN, and as well, if you're a historic karting fan, you'll get to see 2 sessions of those later on today if you're here at the circuit. Right, into the tram lines. Are we going first time of asking? Yes, we are. We're racing down in towards turn number 1. It's a great start for Iliff on the inside line. Look how much he's got away for Devin Waltz. He got caught out, and there's pandemonium in the background. 3 karts into the barriers. They are all up and out of their karts, but I can see there the 242 is one of them, but we'll find out who the main drivers are in that one. Over the Litchfield Bridge they go for the first time, down into hairpin number 1. It's a good getaway for the front though, Andrew.
Yeah, much better start for Jack Iliff. Good start for Nicholas Schaeffler as well there in the Beta Tools liveried kart. In second place for DPK. Nicholas Schaeffler, who's had some good practice around this PF International circuit over the last few months. Double waved yellows out at turn 1. That will be for the clearance of the incident there. You can see out of the race Danny Kelleher, the Irishman, goes no further in this one. I think Marco Gast was also involved down there, the Danish driver for Fusion Motorsport. But coming round to complete the first lap of this 8-lap heat in OK Junior for groups E and G, it's Iliff, Schaeffler, Craigie, Costoya, Clark, Waltz, Devin Waltz, Cranham, Zhang Jose, Jean-Mateo Rousseau and Joel Pockeler. That is your top 10.
Yeah, indeed. Well, over the Litchfield Bridge they go once again. You can see their fabulous shot there, the sun rising in the background here, and you can still see how little damp it is in some parts. As down the inside, Jack Iliff's going to go for the move. Schaeffler's going to get squeezed out wide because Kenzo Craigie comes through into second place on that Prema Racing wagon. So he's had a really good start to this one now. He's gained several positions. Let's see what he can do. Christian Costura, as well as another who's gained several positions. The Spaniard who's there in P4 is latching onto the back of this group and is trying to push forward. Clark is still there. Devin Waltz, Zhang Jose from Riley Cranham, Jean-Mateo Rousseau and Joel Pockeler round out the top 10. Pockeler also in a good run at the moment as Zhang Jose picks up a warning flag, so we'll need to be careful in the second half of this race. Over the start-finish line they go. Eilif looking good, but he's not looking too comfortable here as Schaufler looks back down the inside of Craigie. Nice move there onto the banking.
Yeah, using the grip through that initial part of the banking very, very well there, Nicholas Schaufler. Good day for Kenzo Craigie yesterday. Both results in the top 5, but he's going to be hungry, pushing for more. There's a move there for 4th place. Jarrett Clark, another one of the home favourites. As for the lead goes Nicholas Schaufler. Gets it. Craigie steps through as well to take 2nd place away from Eilif. On board now with Kenzo Craigie through the Fullerton S's. Little bit wide there. He's going to lose out to Nicholas Schaufler and may have a drive on his inside. No, Craigie's got it covered into the Mike Wilson complex now. Really tricky sequence of corner here. On camber, off camber, before you then get through Pitts Bend. Good sequence of corners there from the race leaders. It's Nicholas Schaufler who leads at the end of lap 3.
Certainly is, and as they pass under the Litchfield Bridge, then onto the banking, again you're starting to see those different racing lines coming in from the drivers. This is the experimental phase of it. It's still early doors in the qualifying heats phase. They've still got chances to really gain positions here. As down the outside there, Riley Cranham looking like he's trying to go for the move down the inside, and I think he's managed to secure it. But the beautiful thing that we're seeing from this is that no one's broken away in this. You've got drivers all hunkered in together. Jarrett Clark, he takes the long way round. He's going to try and go for the switchback here. Can he get down the inside of his fellow Forza teammate? No, he can't. Stays there behind. So it is still Schaufler who leads them for DPK. Bremer Racing in 2nd place, followed by the 2 Forzas.
It's one of the characteristics of this PF International circuit, in a way a bit similar to Franciacorta 12 months ago. I call it a best hits album. You've got your long straights where you need your power, your straight line speed, but then you've got your technical bits where you need a bit more handling, and sometimes it's that trade-off between those 2 phases of the circuit. Make it very difficult for a leader to break off the front round PF International. Nicholas Schaufler dealing with the pressure very well, though. Kenzo Craigie still tapped there in 2nd place as Eilif goes down the inside, coming off the Litchfield Bridge, makes it work. Clark's going to have a go at his countryman now, and he's got it done. Before they even get to hairpin 1, Clark up to 3rd.
We saw that move time in, time out yesterday. It's a high risk, high reward, but it's also a very high risk one as well, because again, as you go out of that, you can lose so much speed down the hill in towards hairpin 1, and you're going into one of the fastest parts of the circuit as well. Remember, drivers reach the top speed into hairpin number 1. They hit the limiter. So again, through that corner, you do need to be careful that you get the exit out of the Litchfield Bridge. But look at this now. Schaufler has got a commanding lead in this one. He's breaking away quite nicely, and he'll fully respect a race win today after that P4 and P3 yesterday. Back on board with Kenzo Craigie, the fastest part of the circuit now at the banking. How bumpy it is, how physical it is on a driver, constantly adjusting the steering input on his kart there to get it through and over the Litchfield Bridge. Harsh on the exit as well. That exit curb can be really harsh on a driver's backside as Cranham's going to look to the inside. He gets through now past Craigie, and Craigie now's on the back foot because now Costoya's got past as well. Yeah, for Kenzo Craigie, he's just got to stay calm right now. There's still a good bit of time in this race to go. This is lap 6, 2 more after this one. Been really impressed with Riley Cranham so far this weekend. We both know him very well, of course, mate, from his work in the national championships, the British kart championships, but he's stepped into the Sodi team this weekend. There is that unfamiliarity. It's not the same piece of machinery that he uses week in, week out in the rest of his 2024 season, but he's showing his experience around this circuit right now. They're in 4th place in the 265 and dropping Christian Costoya right now. Costoya, who was 2nd last year in the World Championship, and with reigning OK Junior champion Dries van Langendonk stepping up. There's a lot of eyes on Costoya, and there's eyes for Craigie going down the inside, taking Costoya's 5th place. And that's what we mean. That's a fantastic move, as again, Cranham's on the move as well. He's got past Clark and has moved up into 3rd place. So there's overtakes happening thick and fast all the way throughout. The only place who's not getting overtakes is Nicholas Schaufler right now. He can focus on trying to break away. Cranham, Craigie a little bit wide there out of hairpin number 2. He's got Devin Waltz on that rear bumper and ready to retake some of those positions after starting on the front row of this grid. So he will have the fight in him. We're on lap 7. We'll be going on to the last lap this time around at this moment, Andrew. Nicholas Schaufler looks very comfortable there with that 4/10 lead.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Cranham, though. What's his next move? He took a P2 yesterday in his first heat. Back on board with Kenzo Craigie once again through the tunnel, under the Litchfield Bridge. early apex, drifting it out wide to give yourself as maximum entry speed as possible onto the bridge and then off it again. Is Cranham close enough to have a go at Iliff? No, not this time. We are on the final lap. Schaufler looking calm, looking composed, as he has done throughout the whole season, Anthony.
He certainly has, but I've got to say on this last lap, Jack Iliff has certainly pulled something out the bag here. The driver starting on pole position, certainly wanting to end with his first qualifying heat win of the weekend, but I just don't think he's got the legs in it going into the Mike Wilson complex then for the final time. Schaufler's looking for his first qualifying win. The DPK driver, now Red Bull Junior driver, announced earlier this year, is looking mighty strong at the start of the day. Across the line, it is Nicolas Schaufler from Austria who takes the first win of the day ahead of pole sitter Jack Iliff. Riley Cranham finishes in third place ahead of Jarrett Clark. Kenzo Craigie, who we're on board with, has a good race still. He gained places in the early stages, but he drops back down to fifth where he started. He's not gained, he's not lost anything. It's still a good result. Solid result, keeps him in the running. That leaves the intermediate classification at this point looking like this. Ian Crayling still on that 141 points that he had overnight. Nicolas Schaufler moves up to second place on 129, third for Illy Christian 122. Riley Cranham moves himself up to fourth place on 117. Alfie Slater, Kenzo Craigie, Roman Kamyab, Christian Costoya, Jack Iliff and Turner Brown all inside the top 10, as there has that been an incident on the last tour of the circuit. No, that was from the very start, wasn't it? That was the recovery of Kelleher and Garst. What I will say about that was a much better run. Yesterday, the starts for the juniors were a bit hectic. We'd prefer there to be no retirements at all, but only 2 in that one, so that's a good trend in terms of the number of drivers being able to finish these races. There is your provisional result. Schaufler from Iliff, Cranham, Clark, Craigie, Waltz, Costoya, Rousseau, Bernard and Pockler in the top 10. Lopez, Magnac, Zhang, Kalesia and Evan Purcell. Great drive from Evan Purcell there up to 15th place. In the second half of the field, Vitva, Arnado, Clark, Rivals, Gale, that takes us down to 20th place. Sangera, Furhand, Rad, Sabarov and Johnston